You are listening to Two Heels and a Face Wrestling Podcast, a podcast where we believe wrestling is a buffet and there's something there for everyone. Make sure you're following us on all social media such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook under Two Heels and a Face. That's number 2 Heels and a Face. Make sure you check out our website, twoheelsandaface.com.
Era, Two Heels and a Face.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Two Heels and a Face Wrestling Podcast. On today's episode, we have another wrestling buffet line for you. We're talking to someone who I'm very excited to talk to. We've seen this individual wrestle a few times now for freelance, more than a few and a half, so to speak. And I think there's still almost untapped stories there, new things to learn about this individual. Hopefully they're sticking around with us. By us, I mean the Chicagoland wrestling community for a good amount of time. Before we get into introducing our guest, Chris Ramiro, we talked about it's only Tuesday and we're exhausted. Like, are you okay? Are you okay to do this podcast? Man?
I think this is going to be the highlight of my week with lots of work to look forward to the upcoming days. Yeah, for sure, man. It feels good again. Like I was like, maybe I shouldn't drink anything today. I was just sharing. I have some toothaches here and there, but why not? Like just a little drink here and get things rolling.
But isn't like whiskey or whatever that's supposed to help the toothaches, right? Is that what you give your your 3 children when they?
Oh yeah. The kids get the whiskey when they're teething, but. For me, on the other hand, I might, I got a Cayman Jack. So I bought these because Carla likes these.
Okay.
But she actually gave up alcohol for Lent, and I forgot. And I went to the liquor store and brought more than what I needed. So now I'm drinking those too.
What'd you give up for Lent?
I don't know. I didn't give up anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say I gave up Lent for Lent.
Yeah.
Forward practicing Catholic, yes, but no judgment here. No judgment here. I think we're, instead of giving something up, what we do is we give our time. We give our time to create stuff. No, I'm putting myself up. We give our time though to have these conversations to, help the listeners get to know certain people within the community. And in our special guest today, who is Chris.
I gotta get a drum roll sound effect for sure. Upcoming. I'm coming. All right.
Yes.
All right. So we're bringing in Heather Monroe.
Yeah. Then that's where you're supposed to be applause after that. Yeah.
Chris, this is where you pipe that in.
I'm writing that. Yeah. Writing that into the soundboard.
Like a couple of those.
Yes, Chris. Yeah. Just don't. Not that we're making any money on our YouTube channel, but the sort of incredible Iverson thing that you put in last episode, I think we're demonetized for that video. So thank you for that.
Oh, hey, no.
We do it for the people, Charlie.
We do it for the people. Heather, thank you for joining us.
I just had my Twitter almost get in trouble. I got locked out of my Twitter because I had a copyright song on a promo that me and Ray Lynn did where we used In the Arms of an Angel.
Oh,
and I posted it at least 2 months ago, and today it was you're locked out for copyright infringement, and I was like, whoops.
Wow, it's hard to get used to all the new rules that Elon is doing. I can't keep up with all the changes. You just feel like overnight, and you're just trying to put out a promo for the fans. That's not fair.
I know. I should have just done my original idea was just to do my own version of same thing, but just you can't no words, but people get it, but I got lazy.
Did it cut to you? Did it cut to you and Ray Lynn being sentimentally talking quietly about? Is that
yeah. So I'll redo it with that so I can repost it or whatever. But it was basically that we're trying to save tag teams because and so we were sitting on the couch and we giving the statistics about how many people get thrown together and aren't actual tag teams, and we were just trying to save the tag teams, and Twitter just isn't about that life apparently.
I like that. I think that we've seen and we'll talk a lot about freelance wrestling today, but we've kind of seen a reboot of the tag team division of freelance. And I don't think there's a ton of all female tag teams, right? Not that I can really think of.
Right.
There isn't. That's exactly the point. It's like if you see a women's tag on a show, it's 4 girls randomly thrown into teams. You know what I mean? So trying to make it a legitimate business, okay? And people need to book BFT.
All right. Yeah, I'm for it. I'm for you guys coming to the Logan Square Auditorium. I'm for building out like a very strong division of teams. The Bay Girls got that division on lock, so don't Google them. But yes, they're one to take down.
Don't Google them. Yeah.
So Heather, thank you for joining us. Looking forward to talking to you. Like I think we kind of mentioned earlier, as someone who just Chris and I really that's really just what we follow is the Chicagoland scene, and I think we knew of you before, but interesting just to see you. And I think move here, correct? Is that that was the plan here, and you've moved here to wrestle here?
Yeah, I was in California for 8 years. I think 6 of those years was wrestling. And then I did a year in Orlando, and then I had always planned to move to Chicago because I'm from Iowa originally, so like right there. But I've always wanted to be in the scene, and like I know how much good wrestling there is here. So I was like, if I'm gonna settle in a different place that's not LA, I want to be in a thriving wrestling community.
Yeah, I'm biased, but Chris, would you say like we have a very strong wrestling community?
We've always said that here in Chicago, as wrestling fans, we're definitely spoiled, right? Like we kind of get the best of what's spread out. Like everybody comes to the middle here, the Midwest, and we've heard stories, right? It's also kind of easy to travel to different places.
Yeah, so there's lots around. Whereas in Southern California, not so much. Like you can go to Vegas, but you drive 6 hours and you're like not even out of Nevada, like a little bit quicker to get around here.
For sure. So, and that's interesting. I was doing some research just on like, I think we won't spend too much time on the basics because but we want to get to know you better. And like I didn't know you were from Iowa originally because when in my head you were from and maybe I was stereotyping. Maybe you're just so good at the role, or I was stereotyping you into this. So I apologize if I was. But you felt like, okay, she's from Cali. She's trained in Cali. Like that's where my mind was. So I thought you were just Cali, born and raised. But no, you're a Midwesterner, right? Are you Midwesterner at heart? Or would you say you're more Cali flair?
I think I've got a little bit of both worlds now. Like definitely I definitely have the Midwest in me still, but 8 years in California will definitely Californiafy you, you know what I mean?
Definitely. I think it was the blonde hair. And like I said, I might have just been like unfairly, I was like, that makes sense. She's from California.
But also when you like learn of someone and that's where they're living, you kind of just make assumptions.
Absolutely. And that's what that was. So are you familiar, like being from Iowa, are you familiar with Chicago at all? Have you had any extended stays here or was it just visits beforehand?
I visited a lot, but my sister lived here for a while. And I have family that lives here. So we're kind of like all spread out through Iowa, Illinois, and Michigan. So I've been around the Chicago area enough.
So the adjustment then, 8 years from Cali to Chicago, the adjustment was that pretty quick to like get used to like the cold and everything and then things like that? Yeah,
the cold, I feel like I'm lucky because this winter has not been bad. Like
I would agree.
Yeah, for me it hasn't been bad, but I'm kind of realizing that Iowa had some really bad winters when I was growing up, and I've traveled during this winter to Iowa, and it was way worse in Iowa than it was here. And I was like, I thought Chicago was supposed to have these like hellish winters, but I've been fine so far.
Yeah, I didn't really. You're jinxing us though. This is called the spring of deception. Yes. So they were probably going to maybe slammed one more time. What's the nickname you're going by now? Because I want to say the base there is The base there was, the base there ever will be. And I want to do that because I want to jab at GPA in doing that because he's such a Bret Hart mark. So is that like like I know you're still like we're a Killer Bae or one half of the Killer Baes, but like what is the moniker you're going by now when you're coming to the ring?
The Killer Bae is still the one that I'm using, but I like to use little pun things like that as well.
That's great. And yeah, I hope GPA is rolling his eyes, although we support you. I just that Bret Hart jab in there. Chris, I didn't even explain the salad bar. I just started jumping into questions again. Like, why do I do this?
It happens, right? It happens.
I'm just
we
excited.
all, we all get excited. But just real quick, we did introduce this as Wrestling Buffet line style of a podcast. So, which that means for those who are not familiar with that format is that we have the salad bar, which is pretty much what we're going through right now, getting to know Heather a little bit, quick, fresh takes, and then we move on to the main course, right? The hot plate. So for us, we'll probably touch a little bit on your freelance stay right now and things you've been doing. Just, further questions there. And then we move on to the dessert, right? Which is guilty pleasures, just fun stuff. Doesn't have to be wrestling related. And then we'll also do word association. So I'll explain the rules of word associations once we get there. But seems like we're pretty much running through the salad bar here, Charlie.
We were sprinting through the salad. Yeah, we were shoveling in the greens. Apologies for not taking time to explain the buffet. I just jumped right into it. Okay, so Heather Monroe, I want to know. This is a kind of not a new question I thought of, but one that I don't think other people have gotten. I want the Chicago fan base, the listeners, to understand like who you are and what to expect of you when you get in the ring. So, like, what are 3 words that you would describe about Heather Monroe in the ring?
Ooh. It's hard. Star. Okay. 1. Mm-hmm. Aggressive. Okay, just a little bit. Okay. And calculating.
Okay, so like if someone has a pre-existing injury, you take note of that and you exploit that.
You're gonna notice some things, and a win is a win, no matter what. That's my opinion.
How far are you willing to bend that? Are you just feet on the ropes type of cheating, or like is there another level to that?
Cheating? I would never. Oh my gosh, no. Like I said, a win is a win, and you got to do what you got to do. Like when you look back at the record books, it's not going to say she won, but she had some tights, or she won, but she had her feet on the ropes. It's just going to say she won.
That's true. We do reference cage match on show results, and it just says a win. I think you've been spending too much time with GPA. I think he's rubbing off on you a little bit. His tactics.
I have been training with him, so learning some things. Just saying.
Yeah, that's scary a little bit. But now we have a baby face on top now. It's Storm Grayson at Freelance Wrestling. So I think it only makes sense for some people who like to take. I'll call you an opportunist. An opportunist.
Thank you.
Yes, I want to be very kind to our new friend Chris. So I'm going to say
okay.
Cool. The salad bar. That was it. I just started firing, and you were answering. But we got some more meat on the bone coming with the main course. But the salad bar. The last question we usually want to ask is, what is your favorite part of the salad? We got food questions in here.
I think my favorite part of the salad is the dressing, because I think the dressing can make any salad a different salad, even if it's the exact same stuff in the salad. You know what I mean? I
like that. What do you? Are you a ranch person? I assume no.
Back in the day, but then I moved to California and I got bougie. I'm a balsamic vinaigrette.
Oh, there you go.
That's funny because the ranch is very Midwest, is it not?
Yes, and of course, like that's all I ate growing up. Like I wouldn't even touch anything else, but then I got cultured in LA.
Were you someone who had more ranch than actual like ingredients in the bowl? Like it was just drowning in ranch?
When I was growing up, I was like strictly the lettuce, croutons, cheese, and ranch.
Okay.
And now I like lots of veggies and like stuff in my salad.
That makes sense. You know, you start with the basic roots, you know, that's just like Midwesterners are simple pleasures, I think.
Agreed.
What about the Chicago style food? Are you, oh, actually, I'll save that for the entree. I want to ask you about Chicago style food, though, what you're eating. Chris, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, like, I noticed you, you know, when you talked about that salad, you did mention croutons. That's Charlie's favorite part of salad there. You have to have the croutons, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, I could sit down on the couch right now at the back. Right now, I could go grab a bag of croutons and just start eating them. It is a very popular answer, but I think dressing's also pretty close, Chris. We need to go back. We need to hire an intern, have him go back and get an official tally one day.
But well, as we move into the main course, right? I did, you know, well, you did bring up freelance. We brought up freelance. I want to get your take on walking into the LSA, the Logan Square Auditorium, and experiencing freelance. What was that like for you?
Your first impression?
Yeah, I mean, that venue is just so cool, and like the atmosphere with freelance is just something else. Like I love the crowds that they have and how everybody is like connected to it all. You know what I mean? Like they're not sitting on their hands. They're not like being bougie about anything. They're very into what's happening and they're there to have a good time, which I think is like my favorite type of wrestling crowd, right? Like they're not there to like nitpick every little thing. They just want to like sit and have fun, or like stand and have fun rather. And
Right.
they know who they like and they know who they don't like, and they have just a good time, which helps you when you're in the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can you compare like a freelance crowd to and I think the crowd can change based on the promotion and the venue, but like that, I know the crowd you're talking about because we've been to those shows. Can you compare it to like crowds out in California, for better or for worse, or is it similar?
Yeah, I think Hood Slam has very similar crowds.
Okay.
It's not like these fans that watch wrestling all the time necessarily. It's people that like that's the show they go to and they love it. They're there every month, or Hood Slam runs every week. So they're there every week or the first of every month, and they know like their favorite people and they know all the jokes and they know all the storylines, and they just are there to have a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great to hear. We've seen you wrestle, I believe, Blair Onyx. Can you talk about like your experience in wrestling her? I think you wanted to squash her like a bug, correct?
Correct. We had an underground match first, which was a singles match, and I tried really hard. And then the second one was obviously a 3-way match at Freelance proper, if you will.
Okay.
And I won.
No big deal, I guess. I did notice, though, I don't mean to squash your celebration, but the Monroe off, right? Monroe versus Monroe. Mm-hmm. I don't think that necessarily went in your favor. Can you talk about what happened there?
Well, if someone's going to beat me, at least they have a really good last name, you know? And I tried, but Devon got the better of me, and that's fine. But it wouldn't happen again. So, freelance, make it happen. I deserve a win. That
I'm not disagreeing with that. You sounded very, very. You're very confident. If anything, that might have been could have been one of those 3 words too. Is there anyone at Freelance like? And I think, I listened to a couple of podcasts with you while I was walking my dog today as research. That was fun. And you talked about how you really appreciate the story in matches, and like, and you obviously, I think you're building your freelance resume at the moment. Is there anyone you could see yourself having a really good story or feud with? Maybe like a 3-month, 4-month feud that's currently on the roster.
I mean, Kylie Rae is the perfect foil, right? I know GPA already did the thing, but I want my chance at Kylie. Okay. She's also the face of freelance, so it would be nice to take that over. Maybe show, maybe show the people that she's not all she's cracked up to be,
The confidence you're exuding. I think she just said she's going to be the face. Did she just say she's going to be the face of freelance, Chris? Is that what I heard?
That's right. I mean, what is it? Shot's been fired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
People that put in.
Okay, we'll clip this for sure. Do you see that being as like? I kind of see that being as what, and this is. I don't think this is very stereotypical, because I think you would appreciate this role, but I see it as maybe like the Plastics and Mean Girl, like that type of like vibe where you're the bully at the school versus like Kylie, who's just kind of there to have fun. That seems like that would be the dynamic, maybe. Probably.
I mean, one of us has a lot of confidence and the other one gives it her best try. You know what I mean?
That's true. She is easily manipulated, especially in the tag division. But you can't do that again. We can't do we've done that before, so you're going to need to find another way to get her.
No, she'll know I'm not her friend,
Okay. Great. We just had sort of amazing Iverson on, who is a superhero. I don't know if you knew that.
I did know that, yeah.
Okay.
I've seen.
Okay, you've seen him flying around the city, I think. So have I. Helping old ladies across the street. Could you see yourself maybe, he's afraid of cats, I think, or Catwoman. I think he's afraid of Catwoman.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Catwoman has cats. We're not going to get into the semantics of that. But could you see yourself maybe in the arch nemesis villain role? I mean, I'm not saying you have to dress up as Catwoman. You could dress up as any superhero you want. But could you see yourself in that role, maybe squashing Iverson?
I could definitely see that. And if he is afraid of cats or Catwoman, I would 100% be dressing up as a cat or a Catwoman. And I'll bring my cats. So, I bet he's allergic.
Maybe.
Watch me go.
Okay, Chris, I mean, I think we're printing money right now. I mean, like...
Yeah, book it.
We'll send the invoice over to James.
Oh, man. I'm going to text James, too, just because I like to annoy him. So, we'll see. Cool. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, so, like, you're welcome to Chicago. We're looking forward to what, what could potentially happen. But what are some short-term goals that you might, have set for yourself now that you're here and you're experiencing, some of that crowd? Like, what short-term goals have you set for yourself, if any?
The main thing is I just want to become a bigger part of the scene. I want to be able to be a bigger part of the Chicago scene in general. I want to be able to work a bunch of different places and kind of make a name for myself out here. And just like be able to work a bunch of different people, because kind of in LA, it was really difficult. There wasn't as many women. So that's a good thing about being out here. And obviously I'm fine. Intergender is great too, but I think there's a lot of talent out here with the women that I haven't been able to experience yet. I've only been able to wrestle a few girls, and obviously I've had great experiences with that, but I just want to get the chance to wrestle around a little bit more and just wrestle new people and make a name for myself a little bit more.
Yeah, I love that. Are you very short-term goal? And I think it's different for different people. Are you very short-term goal focused only, or do you see like 5 short-term goals leading up to like maybe something long-term, or is your focus just on like the next thing kind of?
I think my focus is definitely a lot on the next thing. I've been wrestling for about 8 years now. So I think the important part is to build yourself. And that's kind of what I'm focused on, I guess. So I guess that is a short-term goal. when it comes down to it. But yeah, I don't have like these big grand ideas of what wrestling is and what's going to happen. I'm kind of like, if I focus on this, then this might happen, and then this might happen. So I like to stick to the short term.
That's cool. I when I listened to a prior episode, I can't think of I want to shout out the podcast, but I can't think of it right now. I had like a pink crown for the logo. Oh, it'll come back to me.
I think that's the wrestling gal.
The wrestling gal, yes.
Gal, yeah.
Yeah, great listen. She asked the host of that ask questions way better than I do, because I drag it out as I'm doing right now. Okay, well, the question is, if you were to, you talk about stepping outside of your comfort zone. What is something right now you could do to step outside of your comfort zone? Like, we've talked to Storm Grayson, right? And Storm's like, I need to do more promos, and I need to like do stuff like your podcast. Like, I need to like put myself out there as a person and talk more. Like, is that something you want? Like, what can you do to step out of your comfort zone this
year? I think probably just wrestling different types of wrestlers. Like, I think I end up with like very similar wrestling types to me, and I would like to wrestle people that like more in terms of like different style. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it does. And I think we kind of mentioned some of those already. I think with like a Sword Incredible Iverson is more on the like heavy character side. Kylie Ray has a heavy character as well, but like has a very high work rate. Can really outwork like pretty much anyone on the roster, male or female. So like, I think you gave a couple examples too. Is there anyone on the roster that we're not thinking of where you're just like, damn, like I would really like to wrestle this person because they do things differently?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I think I'm pretty capable of doing all of it. It's just, I don't get put into that position a lot. Especially pre-pandemic when I was doing the bar wrestling shows a lot. I don't know if you guys were familiar with any of those, if you watched it. But there was a lot of different types of wrestling on that show, and I had to step up to the plate. So like, say like the Bang Bros, right? Like I could have a match with them. I'm capable of going at that rate, but I don't get put in that position a lot. So I'd like to be put into positions like that a little bit more, where I can show that I'm capable of doing more than the character and the more technical side of things. And like, I can have a high pace, kind of crazy match. You know what I mean? I'm very capable of doing that kind of thing.
I love that. I felt like you had something behind that answer. Like there's a chip, right? There's a chip on the shoulder.
Yeah, because I know what I'm capable of, but I think the pandemic slowed that down, obviously. Slowed everyone down.
Yeah.
But then I wasn't being put into that position as much as I was before.
Cool. No, I love it. I think that is even a stronger, if we were to clip that, I mean, I think that shows your hunger. Like, I think I don't know. That got me run through a brick now, because it sounds like you're like kind of, you're fed up of not being able to show all that you can do a little bit. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm put into a position a lot where I have to be a ring general, and I don't mind doing that. How I was trained, like I got trained at a really high work rate with Santino Bros. So I know what I'm doing, but that's why I get put into the position to like have to do it all the time. But I want to learn, I want to grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna, Chris, call James, get him in here. No,
EFT versus
yeah, no, that's a good transition.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your time spent with Blonde Force Drum? I just want to know. All I've seen is photos, and I know you guys hold belts. So give me the lowdown on all you guys have been doing.
So Raylan and I met in LA. We both lived in LA, and before we even met each other, everyone was like, "Have you heard of this other wrestler? You guys are the exact same person." Like we had the same fabric for our gear. We did the same exact gimmick. We looked the same. Like her grandma would see pictures of me on her Facebook that like Ray would post, and her grandma thought I was her. Like we thought we were the same person. So we decided last year, like there's not a lot of women's tag teams, and it would be great to like now move into another chapter in our wrestling careers. We both had tag team partners at one point in our career. So we were like, let's do it. And it's like we're just very in sync. Like we'll be texting each other and like she'll say the exact thing that I was just going to say to her about like we should do this or we should do that. And we put out a bunch of promos, so you should watch our promos, because I think that's the thing that we're doing different than a lot of people is we're like making content and really to show who we are and like what we can bring. So I would love for us to get a bigger chance too to show what we're capable of.
There's two things that you mentioned that I love. You mentioned all the different types of things you could do in matches you could have. That, like we mentioned, wrestling is a buffet. It sounds like you can be in any part of that buffet spread, so to speak. And then I believe it's our Instagram bio or Twitter bio. It says embrace being different. And that is exactly, I think, what you try to do as well. Like you said, the women tag team, the amount of promos and character work you guys do. So I think you're embodying the spirit, I think, of this podcast. And I think it's really cool that you like, okay, like how can we be different? You put intentional work into that. So that's sweet.
Yeah, because we love wrestling and we want to, if we could do it together, even better. You know what I mean?
That's funny. I'm not trying to play. Have you seen, it's a show on HBO. It's called Sex Lives of College Girls. Have you seen that show at all?
I haven't seen it. I know of it, but I've never watched it.
There's a once again, I'm just tell me to shut up if you feel this is bad, but like there is this blonde in there and she falls in love with a version of herself. So it's funny. It's kind of like what you did with wait, this person is, I could clone myself. This is exactly like me. Yes, let's hang out.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't know if anyone's seen. Chris, have you seen that show?
No.
I didn't think so. Yeah, it's a decent show. That's sweet. That's really cool. Yeah, to fill us in on that, because Chris and I weren't sure. And the belts were the belts are from what promotion?
BCW in New Jersey.
Cool. So you're although and that might be a benefit, like we said, of living in the Midwest, but you're not only freelance, you're reaching out to different places and going different places, right? Is that true? Yeah,
I'm trying. It's hard to rebuild yourself in a new territory, but I'm working on it.
There you go. What other besides BCW, any other places that we should know of that you've been appearing at?
This month specifically, BCW, me and Raylin are putting our tag team titles on the line against Andy Brown and Ryan Mooney. So I'm really excited about that, because me and Andy Brown have a rich history, if you will. Okay. And then Wrestle Arts in Indiana, where I'm the women's champion. And then I'm going to Mania Week at the end of this month and returning to Santino's, my home. So I'm very excited about that.
Cool. Congrats on that. That's awesome. Cool. Chris, I think we're kind of done. We got a couple food questions though, right?
We do. We can't move on to the next section without closing off that hot plate, that main course. So as you're in the actual buffet, right? Like what goes onto that plate? Once you're past the salad.
I am bad at buffets. I used to love buffets like as a kid, but I would like fill my plate with just peas, and then I'd get like the soft serve ice cream. Loved buffet, but I know
just to get to the dessert.
Just to get to the dessert. So is my favorite part of the buffet. I guess that's like the main thing. But I don't eat meat. I should start with that. Okay. So there's never options for me. It's normally like I'll get pizza and French fries, or like some mac and cheese. So I'm a dessert girl on that one.
Okay. What Chicago foods have you been munching on? And give me your spots too.
I need to explore more. I'm so boring. I sit at home and watch TV all the time. But
sounds fun.
I think Portillo's, they have the veggie dogs now. And Portillo's, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't been able to get out and check out too many places just yet. Trying to think of if I've even gone to like a place more than once at this point. I've kind of just done the very stereotypical Chicago food scene so far.
Okay. Your
pizza
Portillo's fries.
Portillo's.
What are Portillo's fries like? What do you rate them, high or low, on like the fry scale?
I don't even remember. But I'm like a weirdo where I think Burger King fries are, well, they used to be the best fries. Burger King fries aren't even the best anymore, but like that used to be my like favorite fry. And a lot of people think they're terrible. So I guess I don't know if I'm a good judge of fry character. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't mind.
I remember, back in the day, like Burger King fries were better than any other fast food.
That was the old recipe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't make them the same.
And they're not the same anymore.
I'm a big Portillo fry guy. I like a curly boy, or not a curly boy, a crinkly boy. I like a crinkly boy. So crinkle fries are great.
Actually, curly fries, I would say curly fries are my favorite fries though, because I feel like no matter where you get them, they're gonna hit the same. You know what I mean?
That's true. I mean, the curly fries do hit. I've never had a curly fry that doesn't hit, I don't think.
Exactly.
All right, you've redeemed yourself.
Thank you.
I'm just giving you shit. Cool. The desserts. We want to know what are some other interests you got going on right now, just non-wrestling related. Like what are some other things that you're into? I mean, I have like kind of a list here, but I want to hear it from the source.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I literally sit on the couch and watch TV a lot of times. So I'm a big movie and TV watcher, and I really enjoy playing The Sims. That's my hobbies. I'm like sit at home, play The Sims, watch TV. I play games, so it's like been fun to watch and like be like, I know that.
The Sims. Sorry, it's coming in a little choppy, but I heard The Sims. I heard movies.
Okay.
Are you one of those, you're not one of those sickos that kills their Sims in odd ways, are you?
No, I definitely used to do that, but now I put them through college.
Okay. You've grown in that area. You've grown. Congrats on that.
Their life and like, doctors and stuff, you know?
Yeah. Enrich their lives. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So did you mention, sorry, it was a little choppy. Did you mention any shows you're watching currently?
Yeah. Last of Us, I've been watching.
Oh, yes.
Because I played both games, and like,
yes.
Part of me wants to play the game again because like they're doing such a good job with it, but the other part of me is like, that game is so long and like so high intensity. Like I had sweaty palms the whole time playing. Like, so I don't know if I want to put myself through it again. You know what I mean?
They've been doing such a phenomenal job with that show, and I just want to like pat everyone on the back who's Bella Ramsey was like phenomenal in episode 8. I thought they've both been crushing it this entire series. But like, Chris, have you watching The Last of Us?
I have not started. It's something I definitely want to do, but when I get a chance to actually watch something, it's like just like brainless kind of like comedy shows or whatnot. Like that's the only time like Carla and I will get together like at 11 o'clock at night when the kids are asleep, and it's like she doesn't want to, like, I would want to jump into series, but she's like, nah, that's too intense for 11 p.m.
It is a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
And like I'm kind of sad that it's like already gonna be done, and I feel like they needed like 10 more episodes or just to do like break the first game. How are they doing the whole first game in one season? Like, I feel like there's so much more to do and see, but people are going to be mad.
Yeah,
Did you guys play the game at all?
I played the game. And I was blown away by the ending. And I'm watching the show now with my wife, and I'm like deathly because they've been doing a really good job of like staying true to the game and even enhancing it more. And like they gotta nail this ending. They have to nail the ending. I know how it ends. We all know how it ends. If they like, I just wanted them to nail it. So my wife is like, "Damn, that was great," because I want her to experience what we felt in playing the game. So like, I'm nervous that they're not gonna nail it. Like, I think they can, but I just want to be sure, because when the ending happened in the game, I was just like, "Holy shit! Like, how is this a video game?" So I just want them. I want that last episode to be good. I'm like praying for it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited, but I'm sad that they're not like making it a little bit longer.
No, it's true, because they've skipped around, and that's to fit it into 9 episodes. So that's a great point. So I think they're going to hopefully do the second one. Cool.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
Yeah, definitely. What wrestling? Sorry if I'm jumping on you right now. I think there's a little bit of lag.
That's okay.
What other when? Let me start over. Timeout. Okay. When you're watching wrestling, just like not necessarily like in a strategy or study format, like when you just sit down and you just want to chill and watch wrestling, like what is the stuff you're watching? Do you follow WWE, or you turn on AEW, or turn on other local stuff? Like, what is the wrestling you watch when you're just like chilling?
I will mostly watch independent stuff over the bigger companies, but I have been seeing more WWE lately, just because with WrestleMania coming up, I feel like that's when it's the best time to tune in, see what's going on. I really like what they've been doing. Like, again, the story to me is like the best part. Like, I love the soap opera stuff. Like, that is my jam. That's what I grew up watching. Like, the like love triangles and stuff, but like that's why I'm loving like the Bloodline storyline right now. It's totally soap opera. I'm here for it. So that's kind of the most that I've been watching lately, but I like to watch just like stuff on YouTube. I'll just randomly put on some stuff. I don't have any like specific go-tos most of the time, but it'll just be like, oh, that's next. Okay, yeah, that looks good, and kind of catch it on YouTube.
Yeah, the Bloodline, I've many people have been telling me to watch that, because really I think I just watch indies, and I'm not like anti-WWE, but like that has really been like a really long and drawn out story. So it seems like they put a lot of effort into that. Are there any other stories like maybe growing up that you remember latching onto while watching wrestling? Like any good narratives you remember?
The ones that like stick out in my head are like the Hardy Boys breaking up and Lita having to be the special guest referee. That is like so distinct in my brain, because they were my favorites. Like, that's who I cared about the most. And then I just remember the like insane storylines, like Tajiri and Tori Wilson, the Tori Wilson's dad and Dawn Marie storylines. Like, the soap opera ones are the best in my opinion. And like, I almost strictly just paid attention to the women. So like, I don't, what are The Rock and all of them doing? Who cares? Oh, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H are getting divorced. That I care about that. that was the stuff that 11-year-olds heard about. You know what I mean?
Are you a fan of like trash TV show? Not trash TV shows, but like that type of like a Love Is Blind or something. That's like your niche, right?
100%. Like,
okay.
I'm not like into the Real Housewives stuff. Like, I don't go down that road, but I like competition reality shows like that, like the Love Is Blind, The Bachelor. Like, I like to turn my brain off and like watch that kind of stuff.
Awesome. That's great. No, I feel like that makes sense. Cool. What is, go ahead, Chris.
Yep, but you're right there, Charlie. I was gonna ask, what is your favorite dessert?
There you go.
Oh, I think I gotta go with just a straight up brownie. Like
Okay.
a brownie with some ice cream on top, like a warm one.
Okay.
I think that's my favorite. Always.
Yeah.
I'm a simple
Absolutely.
girl.
I love a brownie.
No, I will not. I cannot argue that. I cannot argue that. I mean, I think simple. So you don't want to overcomplicate it. Sometimes the answer is just a chocolate chip cookie, you know, and like that gets the job done. So absolutely, brownie with ice cream.
Is there a specific place that you would want to have this brownie from?
No, like honestly, I even like the other day went and bought them from the grocery store. Like I was just like craving it, and like that's definitely like my go-to. So I'm down for whatever. Or like if it's in the ice cream, like Cold Stone when they like chop it all up into the ice cream, or in like Blizzard or something.
Yep.
That's my shit.
Damn. It's time for a snack, I think, after this, Chris.
Yeah.
Right?
All right. Well, it's time for word association. And how that goes is I have a list of 10 things I'm going to throw at you, and you can only reply with one word, with a one-word answer.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
I'll try.
Are you ready?
I'm
There's
ready.
a little bit of a lag, so I'll give you some extra time there. But here we go. All right. The first one is Chicago.
Cubs.
Patreon.
Pictures.
Raylan.
Bestie.
Miss Elizabeth the cat.
My baby. That's 2 words. Sorry.
2 words. It's okay.
BFT. Blonde Force Trauma.
Best.
BCW.
Champs.
Marilyn Monroe.
Icon.
Good answer.
Women's Tag Team Division.
Ooh. Solid?
Lita.
I was like, I don't know why that comes to mind. What'd you say?
Lita.
Gorgeous.
Freelance Wrestling.
Party.
There you go. All 10.
That's a really good answer. Home, I think.
I'm kind of myself because the real answer to BFT is Legends. And Raylan would have gotten that one, but I didn't.
Legends. I love it. All right. So that was pretty good. I mean, I think you didn't have a lot of people throw in multiple multi-word answers. You only did that once. Props for that.
No repeats.
Thank you.
No repeats. You had a really good one for freelance. Usually people say home or party or something like that. It's in their bio, punk rock and partying and wrestling or whatever it is. So yeah, I think we're glad, Heather, that we get to see you, we get to be a fan of you, and that you're here and active in the scene. So yeah, we'll support, and let's keep that going. Let's keep building that freelance resume in particular, and we'll try to do all that we can to help that.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
All right. And before we sign off, if you want to share anything that you have coming up, social handles, anything, let us know.
Yeah, it's Heather is me on all social media. And I have the BCW show next weekend, which I think you can catch on I'm gonna let you guys know. I know you can watch that somewhere. I want to say fight, but I don't think I'm right. And then at the end of the month, I've got a lineup for WrestleMania week that I'm really excited about. Pandemonium Pro, Santino Bros is starting off the collective, which I'm really excited about. And I've got some WrestleCon signings, so keep my social media for that information.
There you go. And for BCW, you can actually catch that on IWTV.
That's the one. I was like, I know you can watch it. They put them on YouTube a lot too.
Awesome.
There you go.
We'll have all those links at twosintheface.com.
Yeah.
That's right. With that being said, you can find all of our episodes at and everything that Charlie is the mastermind behind our social media. So 2 Heels and a Face, number 2 Heels and a Face, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything is 2 Heels and a Face. And check out the website, twoheelsandaface.com. We have been pushing out other content that's not just podcast related. So just some articles. Recently published one regarding Robert Ego Anthony, where he kind of, talks a little bit about his farewell to freelance and moving on to AAW, which I think that's pretty cool for the Chicago land scene people.
Yeah.
So check that out. And outside of that, that's been the episode.
Yeah.
Thank you, Heather, for joining us, and looking forward to seeing you on the next show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.